What is Women's Equality Day? Women's Equality Day commemorates the signing of the 19th Amendment, which gives women the right to vote alongside men. This special day celebrates the impact that women have had on history and culture internationally and the struggles they have gone through and are still going through to gain equality to men. When is Women's Equality Day? Women's Equality Day is celebrated on August 26th in the United States. What is the history of Women's Equality Day? During the 1800s, many women in the United States began to think about equal rights for all. At this time, most American women couldn't inherit property or make even half of a man's wages in the jobs available to them. In 1848, famous leaders such as Lucretia Mott, Susan B. Anthony, and Elizabeth Cady Stanton gathered for a meeting in Seneca Falls, New York to work for women's rights to vote. This is known as the women's suffrage movement. They knew that in order for women to gain the right to vote, the Constitution would need to be changed or amended. It wasn't until after World War I that the 19th Amendment started gaining momentum in Congress as many of the supporters of abolition turned their attention to women's rights. Women across America made such an outstanding contribution to the war effort that their calls for suffrage became impossible to ignore. Finally, on August 26, 1920, the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution was passed, allowing women the right to vote. This amendment was accomplished peacefully without violence. However, the fight for equal rights is not over. Today, the wage gap between men and women still impacts women's economic power, and gender-based discrimination still affects the workplace and beyond. This is why Women's Equality Day is still so important to observe. How do you celebrate Women's Equality Day? Celebrate Women's Equality Day by visiting a museum, reading books, or researching online to learn more about the suffragists and other women's rights activists. To dive deeper into Women's Equality Day, check out Twinkl's teacher-made resources, which you can instantly download today. Gain a better understanding and the facts surrounding this important period in American history with our 19th Amendment poster. Additionally, explore notable women throughout the history of the United States with an illustrated PowerPoint that introduces inspiring women from sporting legends to writers to political activists. Last but not least, imagine what it would be like if you were alive during the women's suffrage movement. With our persuasive writing prompt, write a letter to a local newspaper and express your point of view as to why women should have the right to vote. Check the description for details.